Hello everyone. I've been thinking a long time about making this video. I kept putting it off, but finally decided that keeping my thoughts to myself is actually impacting the situation, just as much as speaking out, even if it seems like I haven't done anything. Simply stating your position has an effect. I want to talk today about various situations, those experienced by all of us, including those subscribed to the channel. I'm concerned about the mass comments on various issues that, in my opinion, lead to nothing good, but instead cause significant harm. This includes comments not just under my videos, but also in various online groups, for example, veterinary groups and similar online communities. Let me explain what I mean, and we'll examine several situations. Recently, a person contacted me, saying, "I have 20 cats. I live in a small one-bedroom apartment, and I'm struggling to feed them. Can you help me find a job or money? I mostly need a job." I was astonished. How could you possibly acquire 20 cats and live in a one-bedroom apartment? Beyond that, even if you started earning money to feed them, what about the living situation for 20 cats in a small space? The person admitted, "I don't know what to do. I have no idea how to manage this." I said, "Okay, let's try to help." I started discussing the situation with my colleagues, fellow cat lovers, and others. They suggested several options, including various cat shelters and cat cafes. Finding a suitable place depends on several factors: the person's location, details about the cats, and good quality photographs. It's a gradual process of finding the right fit. I gathered contact information for shelters and cafes, clarified their requirements, and then contacted the person, saying, "I need this information from you. These specific details, these photographs, and a simple table." He replied, "I don't know how to do that." I said, "Well, let's learn. You have a computer, simply enter the data, and we'll get started." My assistant stopped when it became clear that the effort required, taking photos, creating a spreadsheet in Excel, etc., was too much for this person. This is a classic example of infantilism. I encounter similar situations in the comments under almost every video. How can I do that? I'm on a pension. There are no nephrologists available, and so on. These are people who only know how to complain. I want to say, okay, your cat is right there next to you. Cry about your hard life and the cat's urinary stones. But you have to persevere. You don't want to learn about balanced nutrition. You don't want to research online. You just want to cry and complain and reminisce about how cats lived longer in the Soviet Union. But when your lovely, furry, eared cat gets kidney failure, I'll say, well, everything else was fine. Before complaining about your difficulties, your small pension, your lack of money for veterinary care, etc., ask yourself, will this complaining make your cat feel better? People are divided into those who try to solve their problems and those who don't. There are millions of things you can try. Contacting animal welfare groups, posting advertisements, calling veterinary clinics, etc. When people say they don't have money for sterilization, remember that numerous government programs and charities offer free or low-cost spaying and neutering for stray cats and those of owners facing financial hardship. But you must make the effort to find them. If you don't know where to start, ask for help on online forums, but do so constructively, don't just complain. Only stop searching for solutions once you've genuinely solved the problem. If you decide it's hopeless, it won't make your cat's situation any better. Another problem stems from laziness and infantilism, which lead people to justify their poor decisions. "My cat has never been spayed, and it's fine," they say. "We've always fed her scraps from the table, and she lived a long life, 30 years under the Soviet system." They then contact me for advice on wet food, revealing that they feed their cat cheap supermarket food lacking nutrients, and primarily just chicken and turkey. 5 years on a diet solely of meat. People get a cat without making any effort to learn proper care. They rely on old wives' tales and disregard expert advice. The internet contains far more reliable and useful information than you'll find in comments. Similarly, people write about natural food. One woman wrote that holistic diets are nonsense. I wanted to respond, explaining that in some of my videos, I discuss holistic diets, in others balanced natural diets, and in others, I explain the necessity of adding specific supplements if you cannot create a balanced natural diet yourself and lack access to a veterinary nutritionist. I also advise seeking a veterinary nutritionist's guidance since I don't prescribe any specific method. The main point of my videos is the need for research and understanding. If you believe that natural automatically equals good, then I'd like to point out that most veterinary professionals, especially specialists, say that the majority of cat health problems arise from poorly managed, natural diets. The term balanced seems to be ignored. People don't read anything about balanced nutrition. They just heard something from someone, a neighbor, or a relative. They think feeding only chicken is a natural diet. It is not. An unbalanced natural diet is worse than commercial dry food. The same applies to dry food. If you switch your cat from a low-quality food to a high-meat holistic diet, you can create serious health problems without a gradual transition. Before switching, ensure your cat's organs, especially kidneys, are healthy. People ignore this. They simply buy a new food and switch immediately. Almost no one gradually transitions their cat's diet. I've explained this before. Mix the old food with 10% of the new food. Leave it for 2 days to allow the scents to blend, then increase the proportion of new food over several days. This gradual transition prevents digestive upset as the cat's digestive system adjusts and new enzymes are produced. But people ignore this, leading to comments like, "I gave my cat this holistic food, and now it has diarrhea or constipation." I didn't recommend giving holistic food without prior health checks and a gradual transition. Yet people discard important information. For example, my channel features one of my earliest videos debunking cat myths, including information on poor quality cat food. Daily, this video receives comments asking, "What kind of food should I feed my cat?" Under every comment, I respond that I made a dedicated playlist titled, "What to Feed Your Cat." Is it really so difficult to check the playlist or other videos on the channel, instead of instantly writing an angry comment? This immediate urge to complain without taking action leads to your cat suffering, wondering when you'll finally act. Unfortunately, cats can't think this way. That's what I'm talking about. First, before commenting, think about your purpose. If you're writing something like, "My cat's always been fine without a vet," consider that someone might follow your advice, and that could harm their cat. If you write, "My cat lived 20 years on Whiskas," ask yourself if you'd want a doctor treating you based on that kind of anecdote. Do you want treatment based on proven methods, or based on the fact someone else once used a treatment and it seemingly worked? No one knows why that cat lived to 20, or why that person recovered from cancer, but this is not scientific medicine. Don't ask anyone indiscriminately about good or bad cat food. We have a large online group dedicated to cat food, analyzing compositions, and explaining how to read labels. However, many don't want to learn this, asking for a simple good or bad recommendation. This is unhelpful because it doesn't consider individual needs and situations. Learn to make informed decisions yourself. Consider who you're asking. In short, ignorance, laziness, and infantilism harm your cats. I wish you and your cats the best of health.